every single person that doubted Robert Pattinson as being the Batman, I want you to go watch this movie first and then give me your opinion. Do not go in thinking, oh my god, it's the Twilight vampire guy. No, this is Batman. The Batman stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Paul Dano, and is about when the Riddler, a sadistic serial killer, begins murdering key political figures in Gotham. Batman is forced to investigate the city's hidden corruption and question his family's involvement. Thank you, Warner Bros., for the early screening of this movie tonight, and with this movie being released this Friday, of course, no spoilers, but let's get straight into it. This movie has been very, very highly anticipated by a lot of people I know, but a lot of just the public people question Robert Pattinson as being the Batman because everyone sees Twilight. And I've told a lot of people, go watch Good Time, go watch The Lighthouse, go watch any other movie that's not Twilight. He is a great actor. And going into this movie, I can't lie to you, I had a little worrisome just because we're getting another Batman. But the thing is, we have Matt Reeves, the director of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes. Two very good movies. So that alone had my excitement. And this movie just might battle The Dark Knight for the best Batman movie. Starting with the positives is Matt Reeves. He makes a great Batman movie. This just felt like a comic book came to life, mixed with a great game growing up, Arkham Asylum, the violence in that game. Throw into this movie, you get the Batman. And I think Matt Reeves he's a great director. We've always known that with Cloverfield being underrated, the Planet of the Apes movies, and with this, he showed it off, and he did it. He did it in the most spectacular way. The movie must be seen on the biggest screen possible because Matt Reeves delivers in the action, the characters, the darker tones, and I'm telling you, darker tones. Matt Reeves, you done it. But obviously, we all knew that going in, so let's just talk about it. Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, aka the Batman. He's amazing. I have nothing to say except he is a young, dark Batman, and he is going into this Riddler serial killer mystery as an investigator, and it felt like an investigative Batman, which we've all wanted to see. This is that movie, hands down. He is perfect in this role. He's good as Bruce Wayne, a darker, more somber Bruce Wayne, I would say. A few quirks in the movie with he's Batman as well, but when he's the Batman, he's badass. He is badass. And the fighting sequences, the action scenes, he is just great in this movie. Robert Pattinson proved all those haters he is going to be a great future Batman. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman actually really shocked me, if you ask me, because I thought she wasn't going to be in the movie as much as she is in the movie. When she is, she's an amazing Catwoman. I don't know if she's Michelle Pfeiffer yet, but if you ask me, she's better than Anne Hathaway because she has that cool, badass vibe, also being seductive. It felt right watching her be Catwoman in this movie. And her and Batman together, it felt like original Batman Returns kind of feel, except not being super cheesy, but you feel that vibe between them, the sexual tension, the real tension. I loved everything with her and him. I thought she was great. Really low-key, really good. This darker Andy Serkis. Oh my god. I forgot he was Alfred, and when he shows up, I was like, Andy Serkis, there you are. And he is a very darker Alfred, which of course he is Alfred. He's got his little quips about Bruce Wayne being Bruce Wayne and being Batman, but I loved him in this movie. I thought a lot of the performance in this movie was great, but really, Paul Dano as the Riddler. This man went and studied some horror villains and serial killers because this is not the Riddler. This is a serial killer, which I think some people might actually get mad at, which I hope not, because it is the Riddler character, but he's a serial killer, and this movie goes dark. It is Seven meets the Batman. This world, the tone, the cinematography, the colors in this movie, I mean, it just, the vibe and the world built by Matt Reeves is such an interesting Batman universe. I cannot wait to see more movies in this universe, because what he does with the Riddler, how dark he goes for a PG-13 movie, and showing off the Batman and also being a dark Batman, to balance all these things, I was glued to this investigation a lot through this movie and what it goes through as a character for Batman. For a first movie in this new Batman series, it really just sucked me in. Now with my cons, I think I might be the only one to say this because I have not talked to a single person about their opinions. I just watched the movie, came out, and now I'm home reviewing this movie. I think Colin Farrell is good as the Penguin. I do. Little corny, little over the top in a few dialogue spoken moments, but he is the Penguin, so I felt the Penguin. But for a 2-hour and 55-minute movie, and he's got a TV show coming, which I can see why showing him in this movie is a good introduction, whatever. I think you could have cut a little bit from this movie because there are a few scenes that feel like the pacing is dead stopped and it's kind of just dragging a little bit. When it comes to more of the cops investigating and stuff like that, it's your kind of basic go and cops and investigation, but Batman's there, so it's a little bit more cool. But when it comes to the Penguin, I think just because he has a TV show already being announced, I could have used less of him. But when he is in the movie, he is useful. I will tell you that, because there's an amazing car chasing that you've seen in the trailers, obviously, of him and Batman, and when you get to see in full sequence, it is amazing. But I can't lie, there are some pacing stuff that I'm like, we could have possibly cut back, maybe on some of the Penguin stuff, and focused completely more on the Riddler, if you ask me. Besides that, those are really my only little nitpicks. Overall, all I gotta say is, Matt Reeves, you really did it. This could really rival The Dark Knight, if you ask me. Just how pure Batman this felt, a darker Batman. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, all the performances in this movie felt right. Even Colin Farrell, even though he wasn't probably like my favorite part, he's still good in the movie. Don't get me wrong. The stuff with him and Batman is good, and it felt kind of original Penguin versus Batman. I loved how dark this movie is. I loved Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think my favorite's Michael Keaton, but I gotta see more of this movie. I gotta see a sequel, and we'll see what happens. But Robert Pattinson, I think he really nails it in this part, if you ask me. And just the movie itself, I was sucked in for this investigation. It really is Seven meets the Batman, and it's the best way possible. Again, a few pacing issues, probably more stuff that I could have cut loose with probably the Penguin, if you ask me. But I might be the only one on that island saying that, because go watch this movie. And by the way, Michael Giacchino, my boy, Jurassic World, I loved you ever since then. This score, I mean, man, when you're in the movie theater, that score really hits. So all I gotta say is, do not go get spoiled. Go and watch The Batman this weekend. You will be very pleased. I'm going to give The Batman an A-. I did my very best not spoiling anything about the movie, but all I can say is just this movie really stuck with me. Driving home, I was just thinking about it and just kind of thinking how dark this movie felt and how intense it is. And I really love this world, and I cannot wait to see a sequel and more in this universe. It is a must-see, guys. Anyway, guys, enjoy this early movie review, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.